Council, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So this is for the public hearing, this first meeting, and then we will have a second meeting for our regular. Becky, would you please do roll call?
Mayor Clark?
Here.
Councilmember Bottenberg?
Here.
Councilmember Crone?
Here.
Councilmember Grove?
Here.
Councilmember Pierce?
Here.
Councilmember Sinclair?
Here.
Item C is agenda approval. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay. Any discussion? Please vote.
Councilmember Bottenberg?
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce?
Yes.
Councilmember Crone?
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair?
Yes.
Councilmember Grove?
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item D1 is a public hearing on the fiscal year 2026 proposed property tax for the city of Waukee pursuant to Iowa Code 24.2A. I now declare this public hearing open. Becky, have we received any written correspondence on this issue?
No, none received in the city clerk's office.
Thank you. Director Burkhart.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This is the first public hearing in regards to the fiscal 26 budget to just set the proposal for the maximum tax levy. The notices have been sent out to all the residents, and it showed that we are proposing to reduce the levy from $12.95 to $12.80. So it's a 15-cent reduction for the city's tax levy. The fiscal 26 rollback increase just over 1%. So the net effect on most property tax statements for the city is going to be about a 1.16% increase. That equates to about $7 per $100,000 of assessed valuation. The funding for the fiscal 26, the new dollars coming in help to fund 8 additional public safety positions and 1 economic development position. The wage and benefit roll-ups and increases for the existing staff members, maintains our service level for all citizens, including about the 2,000 new citizens that come to town every year, and replaces several vehicles and adds some new vehicles, mainly for the police department and the engineering staff. It also included 2 mowers for the additional parks that we have to take care of. So in essence, that was kind of about the majority of new monies for the budget. The next steps after tonight will be to hold the public hearing on April 21st for the actual approval of the detailed budget. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. At this time, anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, who wishes to address the council and voice their comments or questions for this public hearing item may approach the podium. If you are participating via Zoom, you can click on the raise hand icon under the reactions controls, or if you're participating via phone, please click on the *9. After you are recognized by the chair, you will have 3 minutes to speak, but first you have to state your name and address for the record. Veronica.
Veronica Lack, Soil and Water Conservation Commissioner for one of them for Dallas County, Iowa. And
Veronica, I want to make sure that your comments pertain to this item, which is the budget, not related to water. If you want to speak on water.
That's part of the budget is supposed to be protecting our water and installing filters so that we can safely drink our water. Unfortunately, the concerns that we have about the PFAS chemicals date back to when my well was contaminated with high levels of anhydrous ammonia, which is a PFAS nitrite chemical. Once it's in the aquifer, it doesn't die off. It doesn't turn into a nitrate. It stays permanent up to, they don't know if it's how many thousands of years. And unfortunately, with karst limestone areas where I farmed, we were draining it in, just at a storm. Northeast Iowa was where I farmed, in Mitchell, Floyd, and Bremer counties. And here we have the drainage down along the Raccoon River and the Des Moines River, and the Raccoon is through the Lowe's Hills area. same type of a issue where there's leakage into the upper aquifers, and then they flow down to drain into the rivers and streams. And we're unable to filter out not just the anhydrous ammonia, which conflicts with chlorination, but also the cyanobacteria. And when you chlorinate high levels of anhydrous ammonia, you release a gas that can burn the lenses of your eyes. It causes like glaucoma, scarring around the eye capsule. It burns your throat. It burns the cilia out of your colons. It is not a known cause of colon cancers, but unfortunately at the Mayo Clinic, we're seeing more children having colonoscopies for this damage from the PFAS chemicals. We're seeing cancers in younger people, and we're seeing not just the cyanobacteria, but we're also dealing with the release of deadly carcinogenic cyanotoxins when we chlorinate cyanobacteria. We can't filter them out. They're smaller than viruses. And last year, Waukee's water tested tap water in certain taps tested positive for Legionnaire's disease. We cannot filter out these nitrites that include glyphosate, which is 51% of Roundup and 41% of Enlist Duo, ChemChina's herbicide. Bayer is up at the state capitol now, came up to my whiteboard and said, well, that was just a big spill. At the beginning of this last year, Trump card delivered semi-load after semi-load to the Joni Ernst hometown small farmer cooperatives of liquid CAFO manure from CAFOs that weren't even permitted by the state.
Veronica,
So
your
we
3
are
minutes
dealing with that.
is
And
up.
I'm
Okay,
sorry. But meanwhile, the state's data
Veronica.
on which PFAS chemicals, we need to know what's in our water. Pick up a flyer.
Does anyone here tonight wish to speak on the budget? Come on up. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
It won't take 3 minutes. I have
Okay.
about one question. My name is Rich Peters. I'm a retired doctor, the 110 Abigail Lane here.
Mhm.
Appreciate you having an open meeting. I just have and against the CFO or what is the annual budget for the city, and where are the main expenditures?
Absolutely.
Our total budget for the fiscal 26 is proposed to be at about $157 million. About 60, almost 70% of our budget is public safety for tax purposes. The 157 million includes all the utilities and capital projects and stuff as well.
Can you speak to what our general fund budget is? Because I think that's what most people think of related to property tax.
And I did not write that one down. Brad's got our sheets over there. It's not on here either. It's about, I want to say 24 million.
$24 million, and about 60% of that comes from property taxes, and 60% of it goes to public safety.
Does that answer?
We do have on our website every single year our complete budget, and then broken down by area, what funds it, and then what areas get funded out of it too. So you can always look at that. The new information for this next year is not up yet because it has to be approved, but last year's is very, very similar. And so it's out on our website too. Would anybody else like to speak on the budget? Is there anyone with hands raised in Zoom?
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay. Going once, going twice. All right. Oh, Brad.
Mayor, I'd just make a comment that the public hearing for tonight is really to establish the maximum levy rate. The detailed budget will be presented at the next council meeting, which is April 21st at 5:30. This public hearing tonight is required by state code, which sets the maximum levy rate that the city can charge for property taxes for the upcoming fiscal year, which begins July 1 of 2025 through June 30th of 2026. The actual provision or details within the upcoming budget will be presented at a public hearing on April 21st, which is 2 weeks from tonight at 5:30.
Sure. I'm sorry.
You bet.
Okay. All right. I now declare this public hearing closed. So we will adjourn this special session and then we have to wait. It's a requirement by state law. We have to have a separate meeting for this. And so then we have to wait a couple of minutes before we can go into our regular meeting. So if you're here for a regular meeting topic, please sit tight. We will go into that in a few minutes, okay? With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So just give us like 4 minutes.